Morning. I am a day behind. I was going to record this last night, but my tablet needed to charge because I had been recording the the Mere Christianity study, and just so we are clear, I am uh, two videos behind from last week and then yesterday. Yesterday's video will be a little bit different, maybe a little bit longer as well, just because with no one showing up. I understand it's not um, a big deal or anything. I do understand what it's like being at this point in the year, with being busy, being crazy busy with studying or whatever. So, what we're gonna do is I'm going to post probably later today and just kind of give a brief kind of instructions in the beginning of the video, and I'm going to post it everywhere I can and be like, this is what we need to do. So just so y'all know. And also for today, yesterday's, I was also very overwhelmed because there's so much, a very like straight lesson from 14 on, pretty much actually a little bit from the whole chapter, really. And I've been trying to figure out ways of cutting this in half. Oh, I used the wrong verse, but it's fine. It's supposed to be 23, not 24. But um we're gonna continue to take this one step at a time. All right. So let's begin. When you see starting in verse obviously 14 in chapter 13, when you see the abolition of desolation standing where it should not be, let the reader understand. Then those in Judah must flee to the mountains. A man on the housetop. I'm assuming they mean rooftop. I don't know why this translation says housetop. Must not come down or go in to get anything out of his house. And the man in the field must not go back to get his coat. Ha! Woe to pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Great will happen in winter, for those will be days of tribulation, the kind that hasn't been from the beginning of creation until now, and never will be again. If the Lord had not cut those days short, no one would be saved. But no, but he cut those days short for the sake of the elect, whom he chose. When if anyone tells you, see, here's Messiah, see there, do not believe it. False messiahs and false prophets will arise and will perform signs and wonders to lead astray, if possible, the elect. And you must watch. I have told you everything in advance. So that is as clear as mud, I'm sure, for just about anyone. Because there's a lot of ways that we look at, the tribulation that's coming, the end times, as people like to say, or the Left Behind series. Um, that series is weird. Anyways, but when you see the appellation of desolation, um, there are references to Daniel 9:17. So 9:17. Here we are. Therefore, our Lord, hear our prayer and the petitions of your servant. Make your face shine on your desolate sanctuary for the Lord's sake. Listen closely, my God, and hear. Open your eyes and see our desol- uh, desolations in the city that bears your name. For we are not presenting our position for you based on the righteousness of acts. There's a lot to take from this, and this is why, like I said, we are cutting it up bit by bit, because there's a lot to take with this. Like, for instance, um, where it should not be. Like, what is the absolution of desolation that standing where it should not be? I don't recall. Like, I've looked it up. I have looked it up in the past, but I cannot recall exactly what that's pointing to and where it should not be. Like, where is it? Where should it be? Um, and in the second half of the verse, then those in Judah must flee to the mountains. A man on the housetop must not come down or go into get anything out of his house, and a man in the field must not go back to get his coat. So we're seeing that there's a desolation that's going to be coming, and it's where it should not be. And then when you continue going, people in Judah, a man on his roof, and a man in the field, all are being instructed to not do certain things. The people in Judah just flee. Man on the rooftop must not come down. So, like, from my understanding from that is, if they're on their roof, they ain't moving. They're not supposed to move, at least, and which is strange to me. But yeah, and then oh, then the last, not really last, but there's kind of like a section gap. Um, Woe to pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Pray. Actually, I'm gonna go to the where even when there's a gap. Pray it won't happen in winter, for those will be the days of tribulation, the kind that hasn't been from the beginning of creation till now, and never will be again. If the Lord had not cut those days short, no one would be saved, but he cut those days short for the sake of the elect whom he chose. Now, before I go touch on the elect and all that stuff, let's look at the fact that he says, woe to pregnant women and nursing mothers in those days. Again, he did mention this in the prior section, where he says, actually, it was in verse 8, not the exact same, but he mentions in the last piece of verse 8, these are the beginning of your birth pains. And then, well, the pregnant women and nursing mothers, he doesn't give, from my understanding, and with these being short videos, we've been doing very short videos, but for the mornings, we can't really get deep into these understandings of what he means in the harder sections, such as this. But my understanding is, when it comes to this, he's talking about he's connected to Revelation, he's connected to the end times, and what's coming is so bad that it's like, woe to you, um, and everything, Um, um, so, ugh, dry throat. Now, pray it won't happen in winter, for those days, those will be the days of tribulation, and it goes from there. I find that interesting. Winter, and anyone in Texas hates winter, so there's that. So, but when it comes to winter, maybe it's because people are less likely to do certain things. I actually don't know. I don't know what it's like to be in the desert winter, because that's where my mind goes, where it connects to the situation where they're at physically. I don't know. I actually don't. There's a lot of I don't knows in this passage. But something that I do know, and we're going to touch on this, the elect, where it actually goes on from there. Then if anyone tells you, see, here is the Messiah, see there, do not believe it, for false messiahs and false prophets will arise and will perform signs and wonders to lead you astray, if possible, the elect. You must watch. I have told you everything in advance. Now, when it comes to the elect, when it comes to the chosen, whatever the passage wants to use wording wise, it doesn't mean that there are some people that are not chosen by God. Just gonna point that, I do believe that there are many who are chosen by God. Everyone is chosen by God to um, be. I don't understand why this light is doing that today. Why? Uh, like the fact that, but he cut those. Going back to verse 20, but those days short for the sake of the elect whom he chose. So that immediately touches on an issue that we have seen throughout the years with Calvinists who, I mean, like the strong Calvinists who are like, there are some elect. There's no point in doing this or this because if you are elect, God's you're gonna become a believer no matter what. So there's no point in um, evangelizing. Now there aren't not all Calvinists are like that, but they're just the extreme ones. But this is something that we need to focus on right here because I mentioned it yesterday for the day before and everything like that. And so with for yesterday's, and I'm going to continue today as well. False messiahs and false prophets. There will be false teachers constantly, and so we need to be watch out. We need to be prepared for those false teachers because for what is coming, there's going to be those who will be led astray. And so that's the question that we have. Will we be on guard and be ready, or will we be led astray? So um, that is what I have for this section, and the next section again will also be fairly short, but also very impactful. Uh, don't forget, we are doing the Covenant of Noah on Monday with the Lord, and the last two videos from last week and this week will be recorded when I get out of class later today. Today's, from my understanding, the last day for two of my classes because of scheduling conflicts with one of my professors. Actually, both of them. I don't fully know. I think they have stuff that they need to do on Tuesday, Thursdays. So I don't have to get up early like I am right now. So, but good luck. Be with y'all. Be careful with this rain that is supposed to be throughout the day. So.